Hello, how's everybody doing? Merry Christmas. I am William Mears. Sorry, I'm looking around at all the stuff I've got to set up for the call here. Missing a couple things like the Zoom and all that. I'm William Mears. This is Ring Ads December 2020 daily live stream. And looks like the Zoom's set up now. Cool. So I can actually change the settings, grab a link. And today's going to be rather short unless somebody needs some help or if multiple people need help. In that case, obviously, I will stick around. Not that I'm not trying to spend time with you guys, but I've got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of people are sleeping right now. It's a perfect time for me to catch up on some things. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that today. Okay, let's see. Let me find the stream. There we go. And let me open that up. See if I can. There we go. Cool. So now I can see the comments. Please be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from and who I have with me on Christmas Day. So I told you we'd be streaming every day if I could help it. And so far, we've only missed one day out of the month. I don't think that's terrible at all, considering some of these streams are not actually, most of these streams are not what I thought they were going to be in terms of time. But I feel like it's time well invested just based on the results and what I'm seeing um, everybody be able to do. So that's commendable to you guys, not to me. But that's also why I spend the time for sure, more than planned. And I've just made adjustments around that. And like I said, today will be a short day topics wise. And if you guys need help, obviously I'm here for that to be able to provide that. Uh, and to do that, I'm going to copy the link in to the comments section, so you should be able to see that. Pow, there we go. Um, what else? Oh, look, I can pin the comment. Sweet. Let me do that. And I will do that. So now, for some reason, all of a sudden, Facebook starts magically allowing me to pin the video or pin the pin the comment for the Zoom call to the top of the damn comments. It's like sometimes they'll let me do it and sometimes they won't. So weird. Um, anyway, today's topic, since it's Christmas, whether you celebrate or not, uh, or celebrate something else, doesn't matter. More than it does just what this time of year means for a lot of people. And as you can hear, I'm getting private messages from people. I may only have 116 or so odd friends, but uh, they're very active friends apparently. Um, I'm very grateful for my friends, absolutely, and you should be as well. That's not the message for today, but that's a good one. Today's message, just want to make sure I get this right here, is about every day being Christmas. And I see this happen a lot, and I grew up with this actually, which really kind of sucks if you think about it, but it was a perfect example of what I don't want my life to be like. So, what for most people may suck initially, um, I turned into a perfect example of what I don't want in my life. And so I cut all that kind of stuff out. And so I'm going to have to share a couple things that may not necessarily be the happiest story, Christmas story, uh, but they will give you some perspective on why every day is Christmas or every day should be treated as Christmas. Um, how many of you, and this starts with a question or a few questions, and be honest, because I'm about to, like I said, I'm about to share some things that I don't really talk about a lot. Actually, haven't talked about in years, and so um, share with me if you will. Tell me a little bit about, or just confirm if you've ever had something like this happen. You had a friend passed away that you hadn't spoken to in a while, but they were still very much a friend. You know, the kind of friend usually that it doesn't matter how long apart you are, whenever you guys get together or the two of you get together, things are great, right? Or like you pick up where you left off is what I call it. Um, I have many friends like that, and I there are some that I feel that I don't talk to often enough. And so where I differ from most people is I will engage them. I will engage them. If not, but anything just to say, hey, hi, still love you, still know who you are, what you into. Even if there's no small talk, or even if I tell them, hey, listen, I'm super busy right now. I just didn't want you to think that I forgot about you or ghosted you. And I've done this with people um, that are even the closest to me that have drifted away or that I've drifted away from um, due to different things coming up in life. Like, for example, when I get really busy or I'm in the zone, I tend to uh, keep lists and make sure that I reach out to the people on an every so often basis that I care about. Is that generic or fake? No, because I'm the one who remembered to do that. Not taking credit for something undue, of course, but or tooting my own horn. But I am going to say that I did think to do that, and I feel like it's the thought that counts. And of course, I'll let my friends be the judge of that. But so far, things work out pretty well that way. Whenever I'm in the zone, or whenever I'm working, or whenever I'm not my best, even in some cases, I let them know, hey, listen, because I'm the kind of introvert that will shut down from people, even the ones that care about me, because I got to deal, I got to process, I got to work through whatever it is I got, and not that I don't uh, appreciate other people's help or reaching out or anything, but when those things happen, typically the only help I need is my own. Not always, but in most cases. And um, I've gotten better. I will say this: I have gotten better over the years of asking for help if I need it from the people that I trust, and it's been a long process to go through on that one. But that's a whole other story. Mainly, what I'm getting at is this: how many of you have had a friend that's passed away that you hadn't reached out to and felt like, man, should have reached out to that person, right? I'll ask you guys straight out. How many of you have family or people that you call family, whether they're blood relation or not, that you see once or twice a year, basically the main holidays? Growing up, my I had extended family, but they weren't blood relation. My grandmother, long story short, was taken in by a family and raised with three sisters who had children, that whole thing. And every Thanksgiving and every Christmas, it was a small town, right? 30,000 people in the county, actually, not even in the town. In the town, it was even less. And so we'd see them out and about throughout the year, right? In town and in passing, but never once did they come visit. We would always go visit them in the summer. We'd visit them every now and again, but most of the time, I mean, handful of visits throughout the year, if that, and the big visits every year. It got to be the last few years that I went was Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's like it felt very and because I guess because I knew we weren't blood relation, right? It felt very not awkward, but I guess awkward would be one of the things, but more than anything, just like a huge disconnect and not genuine, almost like I'm a burden. And I'll be damned if I'm going to be a burden to anybody like that knowingly. It was all but spoken, you know. And so I stopped going when I was of age for that very reason, because I don't need that kind of stuff in my life. I don't need that kind of fake um, pretend kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, we grew up with you, so even though you're not blood relation, you're technically you're part of the family or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not, not really. And what have you done to actually include me in that? And so there are now, mind you, out of that whole group of people I just mentioned, in case any of them are listening, which uh, you know, Merry Christmas. Um, there are a very select few, mostly the younger kids who knew me better and knew where my heart know where my heart is. Um, understand why I did what I did, um, because they reached out and saw what I was into after a couple years, and we haven't kept in touch, and that's kind of my point is that those relationships aren't the strongest, and that's fine. I just want you guys to be aware, like every day should be Christmas. How does that relate? Well, you should be talking to people. Everybody you message today to say Merry Christmas, right? Um, Not that you have to run around like a reformed Mr. Scrooge saying Merry Christmas in the streets or anything. You can, by all means, if that's your thing, right? But everybody that you think of during the holidays that you say hello to, you really ought to be putting them on a list. I mean, that's what I do, and I put them on a list because if I don't, then I'll get so in the zone sometimes that I'll forget to talk to people, to reach out to people, and if you're on a list for me, then you're the people I care about, right? Or that I know that I need to reach out to and engage more, right? Um, Now there are some people that need to be on the list that I'm going to add this year that haven't reached out to me in quite some time, maybe a couple of years, but I love them and I'm going to reach out to them anyway. Not so that I can martyr myself and say, well, I always reached out to them. No, but because I actually care how they're doing, want to make sure they're okay, that whole thing, uh, the friend thing. But my point is, and that's just on the friendship level and family level. If you're going to reach out to people during the holidays, don't be that fake ass holiday reacher outer only on holidays guy or gal, right? I know that was a hell of a title, but don't be that person. Be the person that, you know, makes genuine connections and uh, treats every day as if it's Christmas. So one of the big things growing up, also just on my mother's side of the family, was in later years, not as a child, but think late teens on. Um, my mother's and I don't really celebrate Christmas. Not that we, not that we're Grinches or Scrooges or anything. Um, because I do say Merry Christmas if you haven't noticed, Happy Holidays, and it is a nice time of year. I don't have like super bad memories around this time of year other than what I just described to you, um, which is a pain in the ass or definitely a thorn in the side, but not anything that's going to keep me from going out enjoying Christmas. Um, this year I decided to stay in. You know, I got some things to work through, wanted to do that, but I also reached out to the people I told you I did. And the thing is that I don't give gifts as often, um, not because I don't believe in the gift giving in Christmas and all that. That's part of it, sure, but for me, it's more about if Christmas feels like every other day, then I feel like I've probably done my job, right, throughout the rest of the year. And my happiness at Christmas time is usually based off of whether right or wrong is usually based off of that feeling of, well, every day's been Christmas this year for me, right? And not that I just keep getting stuff. I mean, sure, I receive, but I also give, right? And I give a lot. And so at the end of the year, Christmas time, if I have that feeling that it's just another day, or if I feel like I'm going to just go to work and do my thing and uh, keep to myself. This year, I'm being a little more introverted, but probably because of just the way 2020 was and everything I've got on my plate. So, which is abnormal, but still enjoyable. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not like, how do I say this? I'm not depressed or hurting. Uh, Everything's good, right? I'm just chugging along. I got stuff to do though, right? And if I stop for a second, which I will at some point today, I guarantee you the feeling I'm going to have is, man, it's been a nasty year in some respects, but man, it's also been definitely a year to give back to people. Look at all we've accomplished and look at what we're going to accomplish. There's a lot to that, and I'm very grateful for that. Obviously, I'm grateful for all of you guys out there making this thing happen. That's what this is all about. And there's a lot to be said for making every day like it's Christmas and using Christmas Day as the day to kind of tell if it feels like every other day or just another day. Um, and that day happens to be, I don't mean just another boring day, mind you, but just another day as in there's nothing super special about today versus every other day because I give gifts throughout the year and because I do this and because I do that and because I receive this. I very much have Christmas throughout the year. And if you're living that kind of life, then every day is Christmas. And I guess that's kind of my point there. And you can use lessons from my personal experience about what I just shared with you from childhood that will help you know what not to be, right? And what not to be like, and how to remedy that. Um, but I just wanted to share that and say Merry Christmas. Actually, I'll say it to the camera. I don't know why I'm looking at that's why it's playing. The live feed is playing on Facebook, and so I'm just sitting there watching it. Anyway, Merry Christmas, and I won't say Happy New Year yet because this is a daily live stream, right? But make every day Christmas, seriously. And again, if you don't celebrate, that's fine. Uh, you know what I mean, right? Make every day a loving day. Thanksgiving's another good one, another good time of year, and it's so close to Christmas that I say it usually on both holidays. Even to close friends, I say um, every day should be full of gratitude. We shouldn't just don't be that person either that only says they're grateful for things at the Thanksgiving Day table, right? And never again the rest of the year, right? Make it a point to, I mean, if you have to, at least once a week, should be way more than that, but at least once a week, have it on your to-do list to list out all the things you're grateful for and make it a 5-minute exercise. And at first, you might struggle with it, but I'll tell you, you do that often enough, especially if you do it more than once a week, if you did that once a day, you're going to get to the point where you're just listing out stuff that's just unreal, the amount of gratitude that you have. And you've heard me say this before, and I'll say it again. When your attitude is gratitude, there's no room for anything else. So, um, yeah, there's a lot to be said about making everyday Christmas and what that looks like. It's not all about gift giving and gift receiving. Those are parts of it, sure, but more than anything, it's about our connections in life and how we treat other people and what we do with the time we've been given, and not just on special days, right? Once or twice a year, but the what about the other 363 days, right? Of a year. What are we doing with those? And use days like Christmas and Thanksgiving as scales or measurement, right, of how the rest of the year has gone for you, or how you've chosen to live, rather, the rest of this year or the rest of next year, right? Anyway, um, what do we got here? Let's take some attendance, and I'll look through the comments here real quick. I don't see anybody jumping on to the Zoom room, so I'm assuming nobody needs help. If you do, the link is pinned to the top of the comments section, so you can access that there, or you can ask for help in the comments, which I'm about to get to now. So we've got Art on, Tim Blank is here, Miro's here, Rob Cornick, Merry Christmas from New York City. Adrian says, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a blessed day. Has a blessed day, excuse me. Lots of food and fun, and definitely lots of success in your business. Muhammad says, Hey, William, how are you today? I'm good. Kwesi is here with us. Always good to see him. Muhammad says, Wishing you all the spirit of Christmas. Very good. John says, Evening, William. Happy Christmas. Yes, always the happy Christmas. I forget that over across the pond. You guys don't say merry, you say happy. David says, sorry I'm late, but he's here. Believe it or not, I'm simultaneously on another phone call helping an entrepreneur think through rebranding her ecom business. Cool. And he says hello from Houston. That's cool. Good to always have you as well, David. Adrian's asking, have you ever used Flipbooks in your business? I know there are PDF documents in the group and training you share with guidelines on how to train staff. I was thinking to add PDF documents to our website as flipbooks to prevent downloading and also make it very nice to read and absorb the information. I'm thinking to use PDF reports for um, client acquisition, client retention, training staff. PDF reports for client acquisition, client retention, training staff. For client acquisition, I'm thinking to send my personalized PDF report via email for prospects who are on the fence to do business. They may have been burnt by other companies, so I want to build trust with them in a genuine way. Thing is, I want them to link that PDF directly to my brand, so I'm thinking to use Flipbooks, where they have to be on my website to read the report. When I hear Flipbooks, I think Flipboard for some reason. I don't know if I know what Flipbooks is. Let me give me a second, Adrian, and let me go look at that real quick. I'm assuming it's flipbooks.com. And Julian, I see you in the waiting room. I'll let you in just a second. It's not flipbooks.com. Okay. Let me just type in Flipbooks into search. See if I can find it there. Convert PDFs to Flipbook. Flipbook Maker. Oh, it's a type of format, I guess, for PDF. That's weird. Interesting. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. I upload the content. Almost makes it like a magazine, looks like. But I'm not seeing. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it almost makes it like a bifold magazine. Got it. Makes a PDF, if that's what you're referring to. So obviously the presentation would be a little bit different. So now that I understand that, for some reason I was thinking Flipboard, which is like a social media type app. So let me come back to this. Have I ever used Flipbooks? No, obviously I haven't. I know there are PDF documents in the group and training you share with guidelines on how to train staff. I was thinking to add PDF documents to your website, okay, as Flipbooks to prevent downloading and also make it very nice to read and absorb the information. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not sure why you would need to prevent downloading for your own staff, right? At least with them, like that's, you want them to have access to that. I want them to have access to that kind of stuff offline so that they can learn as they go if they need to while they're commuting or anything like that. But I always make sure that training is available offline. I also make sure that everything is segmented position-wise so that no one position has, except for the agency manager, which is hired after a while, right, with the people that you trust and hired and promoted from within. So I would say Flipbooks is not going to be a bad thing, just not something I do. And I would say as long as they're available offline, great. If not, probably want to rethink that strategy, at least for the staff and the training. Let's see. You're thinking about using PDF reports for client acquisition, retention, training staff. Okay, which are fine. Those are fine. You want some kind of a personalized PDF report for prospects who are on the fence, which again, PDFs, I mean, you can throw a billion PDFs at people. What's going to make the biggest difference, Adrian, is person-to-person contact. So most likely phone and also a Zoom call wouldn't hurt, especially these days where they can see you on camera. That would actually help. So consider that. Clean up your background and like green screen lighting, do stuff like that, and make your calls that way via Zoom, and that would definitely help build trust if they can see your face. So I'm thinking to use Flipbooks where they have to be on my website to read the report. Again, there's only so much value that's going to be gleaned from that. Not that there's none, but there's only so much. There's a limit to that, and I guarantee you that limit is not over the tipping point for most of the clients that you want to acquire without a personal touch. And I don't mean personalized info. I mean a personal, person-to-person contact, touch, if you will, either via phone or via Zoom call. Okay. For client retention, I would add the Flipbooks to my website so clients can learn things about how to grow their business. That's what the weekly calls are for, dude. You can supplement those weekly calls with reports like this, but again, just doing reports and not actually engaging your clients over the phone or through video, even for 5 to 10 minutes once a week, you're not going to have good retention, right? No matter what you do. The client engagement sequence that I'm revamping for you guys works. The original works very well. That plus the weekly calls will get you 75-80% client retention, no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Actually, even higher, depending on how many clients you have, but around the 75 to 80 mark. is a good starting point for that, and you can get better with those numbers. Um, Without any flip books and PDFs and all the stuff you're talking about. So if you add that stuff in, it's gonna be better, I'm sure. But if you take away the phone calls or don't do phone calls, which I'm not seeing listed here, it's gonna be hard for you to keep those numbers up. For training staff, instead of sending the PDF report to their email for training updates, I would just add it to the company training site so they can read through. Yes, just make sure it's in downloaded form. You mentioned earlier that you wanted to keep people from downloading it, staff from downloading it. Segment, password protect the training levels based on the positions that I teach you to hire and train for. That way nobody has any access to all of the positions or multiple positions, just one, right? Theirs. And make sure that that information is available offline so that they can go through it and do what they need to do. Those are my thoughts on the ideas. You say you work very long hours at your job, but you're more than happy to spend an extra 2 minutes sharing a flipbook with clients and staff as a way to add more value, create a positive impact. Absolutely. Always do that. Always add the value wherever you can. Just make sure that that it's not the only thing you're doing to add value. And the biggest things, again, are going to be what they always are, which are the weekly phone calls, engage your client, actually have good conversations with them, not just how's the weather. That kind of stuff doesn't fly. And make sure that after not just the weekly phone calls, but the things that you talk about with them in their business, the client engagement sequence as well. Those two things, you'll have high retention rates. With what you're talking about adding, specifically adding, yes, that's good. If you're talking about just doing that, no, that's not good. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So please, and time and frustration and maybe even your sanity. So please don't do that. Scott says, I wish you a happy Christmas across the pond. Very cool. Julian says Julian's in the room. Hold on, let me let him in. He's saying he's having difficulties in taking payments via ClickFunnels with Stripe. So I'll help him with that. Muhammad says it's basically PDF, but in a flippable magazine. Right. Time and frustration. All right. Julian, can you mute your Facebook, please? Adrian's saying Flipbooks basically take the PDF and places it on the website with a nice presentation. Cool. So I'm glad we're caught up on that and we understand that. I think we're good to go on that. Julian, do you have me muted on the Facebook yet? I guess not. Okay. I'll just hang out whenever you're ready. Adrian says clarification, the flipbooks would be an additional value add. That's good. It does not take away from me going on the phone or even meeting clients in person. From time to time, I plan on meeting in person with my clients about 2 to 6 times a year. And in future, also have staff go fly out to meet my clients. I think that's a bit excessive, but that's just me. I don't think you need all that. Julian, are you? I guess not. Okay, well, I'll just hang out. I'll just hang out. Attendance, could do that. All right, here's what I want to do. Every day is Christmas. That's what I want you to write in the comment section so I can take attendance. I'm looking for a few people here. I'm looking for Scott Moody, Steve Taylor, Tim Blank, John Smith, Muhammad Zakir Hussein, Adrian Bryan, Garrett Amon, and Robert Kornak. What I want you to do is write every day is Christmas in the comments so that I can mark you present. And I'm gonna, looks like we lost, oh, Samantha Todd wants to enter, okay. And it looks like we lost Julian, so let's see what that's all about here in a minute. What I want you to do is write, okay, Samantha, you're gonna want to mute your Facebook feed while you're in Zoom because there's about a 20 to 30-second delay. Okay. All right. And
Hello?
when you, yes, hello.
Okay, so I'm with Samantha. She's a friend of mine. This is Julian.
Oh, hi, Julian.
Hi, I'm using her phone, so that's why I came across as Samantha.
No
I'm
worries.
having difficulties with accepting payment through my ClickFunnels website. The issue is that when one tries to pay, one only can buy one call. I cannot see how to have it so that they can buy 10 calls at a time. I don't know whether or not they do that. I set it up in Stripe, or whether or not I can set it up in ClickFunnels.
Well, typically you sell it by the block, right? You're not going to just
Right.
sell one call and do some kind of a quantity counter, right? You're gonna set it up as what are you charging per call, Julian? Let's start there.
$20 a call.
And how many are you going to sell in an initial block?
10 or 20.
Okay, so $200 or $400, that would be the price of the ticket, and it would be a block of 10 calls or 20 calls, and that's how you would label it as a product inside of ClickFunnels. And when the deposit goes through, it'll go through as a $200 deposit. You load it into the wallet side of Ring Ads, and you're golden, right?
Are you able to show me how to do that now?
I can, sure.
Great. What do we need to do in order for you to do this? Do we do this on this handset or
On Zoom, on Zoom. So you're going to need to be able to be on the device that you have
my
ClickFunnels
computer?
on.
On my computer, then.
That
I
would
may
be
have to log out of here, and then I
that's fine.
will come back to you in a few
That's fine.
minutes.
I'll be right here.
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's see here. For attendance, I have Scott. I have Adrian. Tim Blank. Gotcha, bud. Robert. Damn it. I always do that. Sorry, Robert. I will get that right one of these days, I promise. Garrett, gotcha. Art. Uh, Art, you're not on. You're not in the running, but every day is Christmas. Appreciate you. John Smith. All right, so we're missing a few. 4 attendants today. Every day is Christmas in the comment section. And we're missing Steve Taylor. We're missing Muhammad Zakir Hussein, which I know he's here, but he has to post that in order for me to confirm that. And those are the only two we're missing. Those are the only two we're missing. So those two gentlemen, if they would be so kind as to write "Every day is Christmas" in the comments, and I know that you're here for attendance, and we'll be golden. Or not for you guys. But I'll keep an eye on this till the end. And now we're going to wait on Julian to log into his device so we can. There he is. Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Hold on.
You might want to mute the other feed or whatever you got going on there for the echo.
Hold on. Does that work now?
Seem to be.
Okay. So what do we need to do here?
Share your screen via Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, any one of these. Yeah. You press share. can see your screen. I can get you green. You can see it.
Okay.
Just get out of here. All right. I have a lot of things open right here at the moment. Let's go back to.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, but it's kind of scratchy, by the way.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah,
Clearly?
that's much better. Whatever
Okay.
you're doing.
All right. So this is the ClickFunnels. This is the page, and do I go to the deposit side of things, or to edit that?
Yeah, that's the order form page,
Okay.
and you'll see products over there.
Okay.
Have you already connected your Stripe account?
I did, yes.
Okay.
But I had to switch accounts, so oh boy.
Well,
I had
then
to switch it.
you're gonna need to link it then. Yeah.
Okay.
You're just gonna want to name that whatever you need to name it so that you know which Stripe account that is.
Okay. And then click this.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm gonna come away from your screen while you do that.
Here's the issue, is
Okay.
that I'm not at my home and I don't have my phone with me, and Stripe is asking me to do two-factor authentication.
Okay.
So does that mean that I won't be able to? It looks as if I won't be able to log in to be able to link the two and get the code to put into this. This is the issue.
So you don't have your phone with you?
I don't have my phone. I'm using a friend's phone.
Okay.
I'm away for Christmas, so this means that. So if I can't get this sorted out, I have calls I want to do tomorrow. Is it possible that because Stripe is linked to the back of my Ring Ads account, software account, is it possible for me to just simply say, okay, well, we'll simply take one payment now, and then I'll create your account, and then once your account is created, you can log in to the back end and you can deposit the rest of the money?
I think that's a bad idea, like a very bad idea. If there were a king of bad ideas, that would be up there in the running.
Okay, so the only way for me to get the Stripe authentication code is for me to return to New York City and to get my phone.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay, not that it's any of my business, but why would your phone not be with you? And if you're not even in the same city, like this is crazy. What? Huh? Who are you? What's going on? Like that's where my mind goes, right? Help me understand why, like what's going on where you're not able to access things because your phone's not with you.
I was in a hurry to get on the bus, and when it arrived, I went back to get the rest of my belongings, and I must have left my phone in my apartment.
I got you. Okay.
When I got on the bus, I realized, hey, I don't have my phone with me. Now I'm in another city, 120 miles away from my home. I was planning on working from here, but now I don't have my phone, and now I experience this difficulty. I had people saying they wanted to buy, but then when I went for them to check out, there was only the ability for them to pay one for one call, or So
What is that sign in another way there on the page?
Show government ID, which I don't know. I know my backup code, and I lost my so I sent in my government ID, but they're not available until Monday.
Right.
To be able to know whether or not it's going to be fine.
What about answer a few questions about your account there? It says 3 business days, but still.
It says 3 business days. That's still Monday.
Okay. Well, Julian, I mean, I can do a lot of things, but short of walking on water and turning water to wine, right? I'm a miracle worker, but I'm not a you know, I'm not a god. I don't know what to tell you, man, other than to tell you there's some absolute basics that you're going to need. Here's the workaround, but I don't advise it. In fact, I mean, how far away from you are from your phone are you?
120 miles.
Yeah, I'd drag your ass back and get the phone because of what I'm about to explain to you. It's going to cost you so much money and so much time and frustration. It's worth the 120 mile, 240-mile round trip. I promise you. I'm telling you, man. Because what I'm about to describe to you is not ideal. It's why we have an agency site. It's why we walk people through giving you the money this way because it's super straightforward. It's easy for people to understand. There's not much for them to do. What you're going to have to do in the meantime, as an alternative, um, if you decide not to drive back, ultimately it's your choice. But if you decide not to drive back, then here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, while you have someone on the phone, create a Ring Ads account. Make sure that they receive that email, log into it, their account, walk them through the Ring Ads account on adding a card and dropping the same deposit amount from their card, all on their end. And
Okay.
if they hit one too many zeros, guess what? It goes from a $200 deposit to a $2,000 deposit. You're leaving a lot of problems, a lot of learning curve, a lot of stuff on that first call that should not be happening, right? That's why I say not worth it. Not worth it at all. And that's assuming that you can get a couple of people to that point in the process without freaking out or tripping over themselves and going, Jesus, this is too hard. You've got to make it super easy for people to give you their money. And the only way I see for you to do that is to have access to your Stripe account, which, God, Julian, that's like, I mean, to a business, a brand new one, that's the lifeblood, man. You gotta get that phone anyway. I don't know what you're thinking, man. You got to get that phone anyway. Go get the phone. Save yourself a lot of trouble, right?
Okay. All right.
Now, that said, there's still some stuff we can set up in ClickFunnels here while I got you on the screen share. So that way, when you
Okay.
do get your phone, you'll at least be set. Okay.
All right.
So if you want to
Okay.
head back, if you want to head back to ClickFunnels there, and then head back to the funnel for me. Order form.
Order form.
No, the deposit one. But that is an order form type. Sorry. Products. Add a new product. All right. So the payment integration. Can you select that? Stripe for towing. Yeah. And what you're going to do now is you're going to set up a one-time payment, and you're going to hit save and go next. And it's going to walk you through all these steps up here. And this is where you name the product, so you don't want to leave it that. You want to make that very clear, which is going to be 10 calls, $200, 10 towing calls, $200 deposit, something like that, so that it's very clear what it is. Product price is listed as 200,
And then I just put here,
200 bucks.
okay, at $200. Okay.
I mean, I would, and then actually put the price, 200
And
bucks.
then $200.
There you go. Okay, now scroll down just a bit. Product and billing description. So billing description is where I'd actually put your company name or your DBA at the very least. But ideally
Okay.
it's the LLC. But yeah,
So this is, um,
fill in descriptions. I'll just put light bulbs.
Well, it's not very specific. I mean, it's specific to what you're selling, but it's not specific to the company. Like whenever you buy something from Amazon, they have a, a message on your payment gateway that shows up in your bank statement that very clearly identifies it as an Amazon charge, right? So towing live calls, what happens if they've got 3 or 4 people doing that? No, it needs to be the company name, right? Ideally. And if you don't have a company name, then it needs to be the DBA. Okay. Product description, you can just do 10 calls, 10 tow-in calls. Okay. Save and next. All right, so we're not going to do any kind of product variations.
If I wanted to have it as a drop down where I can sell 20 calls instead, so they can choose.
What I would prefer you to do is create multiple products that will have the same effect.
Okay.
Yep, save and next. Fulfillment email, right? There's templates of this inside the training and all that. You can do this later, but when you enable it, it's going to allow you to send people to the thank you page. So you're going to want to hit up the thank you page, select it in the drop down there.
Where's that?
Right there. You were just on it. Yep. Why is it not showing? Hit enable fulfillment email. Maybe that's why it's not showing. And then just type in a bunch of whatever until you can go get the template that I just told you about. Again, we don't have to just, when I say whatever, I mean run your fingers over the keyboard. We don't have to get crazy here. Okay, now scroll down. Thank you page drop down. Should show. It's not showing. I don't know why that your page is not showing. Should take you to the next page anyway, the order confirmation. So I wouldn't worry about it. Save and next. Just come back and fill in the template and you'll be good to go. Follow-up action. This is good, like if you want to send them over to an autoresponder, things like that. It's optional, but not a bad idea for client engagement sequence, that kind of thing. It can be done later, but this is where you would turn it on and select the action you want. So for example, if you were sending them to Aweber or GetResponse, then you would have that link to your ClickFunnels as well and send that email address and info over to that autoresponder, right? And put them into a specific sequence automatically. So again, nice to know, but not required. At this point, no, not yet. Not yet. It's not. No, save and next. And the next one's going to be nothing for us on shipping. So we're saving next. And then summary, you're done. So if we go back to the products, if you click on deposit over there where it says deposit on the left, and then go back to products. There you go. You should see the product there. And now when you go to the checkout page and actually view it, you'll see that product in the drop-down. Now, again, product variations, that's one thing. That's mostly used for things like e-com. I'm not a big fan of using it. I like to do multiple products here. So you can, the only bitch of it is this, and it's not that big of a bitch, but it would help if you had 2 screens, or you're going to have to go back and forth on the settings for this product to create the next one, because they don't have a duplicate button, unfortunately. That's the bitch I was talking about. But making multiple products is really straightforward, as you saw, right? Like, it's a couple of main things you got to get right. You'll be able to copy paste the email template over to both of them, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, so really straightforward. I mean, with this and your actual Stripe account connected to ClickFunnels, you will be able to take payments through ClickFunnels and Stripe, no problem, um, on either 10 calls or 20 calls, right?
All right then.
Okay.
So this is. All right. I'll. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. All right. So that's fine. I'll have to go back to New York. And,
I mean, I hate telling you that, but at the same time, you know, I don't know of anybody that would tell you, because I don't know if anybody would ever tell you to not go back and get the phone because you're going to need it anyway. I mean, what happens when what happens if somebody needs a refund or somebody accidentally pushed too many zeros, like I said, inside of Ring Ads? Because that stuff does happen, and you can fix it inside of Ring Ads. But in terms of actual dollars paid to your Stripe account, yeah, dude, you're gonna have to go in and like, and if you do you really want to say to a client, a brand new client that doesn't know you like I do, and say, because you can say that to me all you want, and I'm gonna be okay. Well, you know, I understand, but a brand new client after I just overpaid accidentally, and I'm just using this as an example, there's many different scenarios that could go completely wrong for you where I want my money back and you're telling me no because or not right now because your phone's in New York and you're not. Okay, well, how long is it going to take you to get to fucking New York then? That's my question. And you're going to run into some hostility with that kind of stuff and also major inconveniences and just not being able to run the business well. So it's a hard thing to have to say to you, but at the same time, I don't know if anybody that, well, I would hope that nobody would not tell you to try to work around it, because that's just one of those things where, based on the two-factor authentication, man, like you're gonna have to have that phone. Gotta have that phone, and don't ever lose it again. Put it on a tether. Don't ever lose it again. I mean, this day and age with 2FA on most of the accounts out there, which I'm sure you know, at least
yeah,
available.
it's on everything. It's on my
It's
Twilio account. It's on.
right, and it's just one of those things where you just can't afford to have your phone exposed like that. It should be as protected as anything that's highly valued, right? Including your privacy and all that kind of stuff. I mean, here's mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a live stream and I have it nearby. So, not bragging. I'm just saying these are this is the world we live in now. Um, we have to protect our accounts with two-factor authentication, which is good on you, by the way. Um, and that does come at a cost. And I hate telling you, but at the same time, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you that you're going to need that. Definitely.
Right. I was just wondering if there was a workaround for the next 2 days whilst I'm.
There is, but it's not. It's when I say it's less than ideal, I mean it's a nightmare scenario. Like it's something where unless I was down to my last $2 or something, right?
Even if I was able to just show them via a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, yeah, absolute nightmare scenario. Absolute nightmare scenario. I don't know how else to say it other than to say I just would not do it. I'm sure there are people out there that would say, "Oh, it's no big deal. Go ahead and do it." Right? Again, your business call. It's your business. But you're asking me, and here's the thing. Most people don't want to hear the truth, but they expect me to tell them the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You're having a hard time accepting it because it's 120 miles away, the truth is, and that sucks. I understand what sucks means, right? In business and in life. Um, there have been times where I had to make 2 round trips um, in business, not for my phone, but for parts runs until I got my act together. Now, granted, I was 19 at the time, but I had to learn that one the hard way. Had to drive 70 miles well, one way twice. So think about it. That's 280 miles. So I've made that kind of a mistake, 100%. Um, that
All right.
that level, let's say.
I'll just take care of it. I have, I have follow-up meetings for Monday because people wanted to buy, but when I saw the mistake, I couldn't proceed. So I said I'll come back to you on Monday to get it sorted out.
That's not going to kill you either, by the way. Like I'm pretty sure based on the holidays, everybody's going to be fine with that. But definitely still have the urgency. Tell them. I mean, you can even tell them for a laugh because I know it's snowing up there, right? So tell them, hey, you would not believe the snow I had to plow through to get to my phone, and please God, don't ever leave your phone anywhere. Tell them not a nightmare story, but tell them a story about your journey and what it took to get the phone, because they're going to hear that and be like, man, he's better in the post office. If he's got to go get his phone, he's going to go get his phone, right? I'm just saying that's something you can use to your advantage and to still convey the urgency that's still there come Monday. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all I needed to know.
Cool, man. All right. Well, I'm excited. You're at the pitch with a few people, huh?
Yeah, I was going to get 5 clients yesterday, but this was the first day. The first day I was dialing, and it was a piece of cake, really. I mean, I
All
had
right.
more calls coming back. I had too many. I only dialed for about 3 to 4 hours, and sent out 400 calls. No, 300 calls, 350 calls. 150 were delivered. The rest went to voicemail. Of the 150, I received about 12 inbound calls back to me. And then I closed 2, and then 3 said come back to me on Monday.
Yep.
And we go further. But they were very interested. So
Cool.
I figured I'd probably dial again tomorrow, and I'll probably get another 5 and do it on Sunday. And
So what you're saying is you're going to be on the board here soon.
yeah, I expect to be on the board. I mean, I don't know if I can get 5 a day, like you said you could do yesterday, but
Sure.
it
Yeah, you can.
it doesn't seem that difficult, to be quite honest with you.
Well, there's going to be days where you're going to feel like you can't close the barn door. I promise. But most days you'll be able to close at least one or two.
Everything will get better and better and easier and easier.
Well, good. Good.
I'll know what to say to people, and I'll be able to have other clients that said, hey, I've got this client in this city and that client in this city, and I can be authentic with them, but yes, I have. And it should work. I mean, I expect I'll get several clients each day, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't seem difficult. I hadn't dialed until yesterday. Yesterday was the first time.
So that was
And
your first time.
it was my first dial, and there were just too many people responding back to me. It may have been that the messages, I've listened to your messages, and I listened to the urgency that you put in, and I listened to somebody else who said, have some fun with the messages that you leave. That was Grant Cardone talking to his daughter, and then I changed the message slightly with wording because I thought everybody else is going to be using the same message, so let me change it up slightly, and I put in the emotional tone of they have to go somewhere right now, the way you said it.
Right.
And I put that, and many people are calling back without listening to the message, but those who have listened to the message, they want to buy.
Right. Yeah.
And those
urgency helps with that, 100%.
At a missed call, I've got to persuade them a little bit, but they're not hanging up. And when I tell them what they're doing, and I point out various factors about end of the year and other factors about the frustrations they're experiencing and how things can change for them, they're looking for that change.
Good. So then I guess the next steps, once you get everything squared away and you get some clients in, then it's about setup. So, I mean, I'm here for you when you're at that stage. Let me know. We'll go through some setup if we need to for the actual campaigns to run and all that. And then at that point, it's optimize the campaigns, wash, rinse, repeat on the client acquisition stuff and start developing systems and processes into the new year, right? But that's a damn good way to end the year. I know it sucks, man, having to go back to New York just for the phone, but man, it's going to cost you if you don't. It really is, and I think you know that because if you've been on the phone yesterday then and got those kind of results on one day, really half a day, since yesterday was Christmas Eve,
Mhm.
you're going to see a lot come from that. There's not a doubt in my mind. But if you don't go get that, it's going to be more of a struggle uphill. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Uh,
Okay.
those are learning curves that are once somebody's committed, right, to learning the process. Kind of like what I do. Um, not that you're not being transparent. Here's the idea, though. Nobody wants to learn something brand new, technology-wise, right? If they don't have to. While our platform is intuitive and easy for them to use, it does take some showing them around a bit, kind of like stepping into a brand new place to live. You need to know where the bathroom is at, and you could go find it on your own, sure, but it'd be a hell of a lot easier if the person that runs the house or owns the house or whatever shows you where the bathroom is, tells you where it's at, that kind of thing. Um, make sure that the towels are out so that you don't have to go searching for a towel before you go take a shower, or forget to do that and not have a towel available after you're in the shower. What a pain in the ass, right? Um, those kinds of things equate to the software where um, it's not impossible or anything, but man, it's going to make life a hell of a lot easier for somebody who's already committed with actual dollars to take 2 minutes and learn the platform with you versus someone who hasn't done that yet officially, even though they've said they're going to, and that's what they're there to do. And all of a sudden they get cold feet. That's going to be why almost every time. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's the main thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Merry Christmas.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Questions, comments, and we'll bounce out of here. Let's see. Oh, quite a few. Muhammad is here, but Muhammad hasn't typed in every day is Christmas. You have to type in every day is Christmas. I'm very specific about instructions. If you haven't noticed, I want to make sure that you follow instructions. And in order to qualify for attendance, you're going to need to write in every day is Christmas, Muhammad. And you did. There it is. Okay, so I see that now. I will mark you present. And I think we're missing one person now. Steve Taylor, which I'll get to the comments. Maybe he posted in here. We'll see in a second. Adrian's asking, just curious, why do you think meeting clients is excessive? Maybe it's only 1 to 2 times a year just to add that more personal touch to the client retention. Say, for instance, I have a national client who's paying $120,000 per year. I could take many vacations around the U.S. and invite clients for meetup events. Say my clients like golf and I like golf, then we meet up once a year for a nice match. I get to have some fun while also making the client retention stronger. There's nothing wrong with it. Excessive would be, I mean, now you've lowered it to 1 to 2 times a year, right? Whereas, I mean, in your earlier post, I plan on meeting with, to quote from you, I plan on meeting in person with my clients about 2 to 6 times per year. That's excessive, right? 1 to 2 times in this new comment that you wrote here, it's not as bad. And if you have a national client, and by the way, most national clients are not worth 120 a year, you need to add a 0 to that in most cases. And yeah, those are worth a couple times a year visit with whoever the powers are that be, that you have that relationship developed with over there at that company. And sometimes it may be the CEO, but in most cases it's going to be like a CMO or a COO, someone else that runs the day to day. And if they have it in their schedule time to do things like golf or whatever, then I'm sure, yeah, that you can schedule times and stuff like that, and it wouldn't kill you to do that. But in terms of like the idea of just traveling around the U.S. to do that for all your national clients or a ton of different clients, I don't know. I've done the whole travel and work thing, and it's not for everybody. For me, I can do it for an extended period, but afterward, I need a recharge. And that, I don't know if that's how you want to live life, right? It's something you need to consider. Even at 1 to 2 times per year, it's something you're going to run into. But yeah, 2 to 6 is excessive. 1 to 2 is better. But again, I would keep a focus. If you're going to do that, I'd keep a focus on national clients and only, maybe regional, but that would be like stop in for dinner, stop in for lunch, hang out with them for a day, as opposed to a couple days or something, and hopping around a lot. Takes the energy, takes the piss out of you, I promise. It does. Questy says, hey, William, is it possible to share a copy of your chart for the best months for client acquisition and agency building? Yes, I will definitely be doing that soon. And I just haven't copied it over from the December Dash slides that I was testing it out on, right? But I will do that. That is my intention to do that, 100%. For now, says I have a health insurance prospect and needed a 90-second buffer. How can I address that? Health insurance prospect need a 90-second buffer. I'm not sure what you're asking. A 90-second buffer. You're going to have to clarify for me what you mean by buffer. Art says, regarding two-factor authentication, I like and use Authy. I have it installed on my laptop and phone. If I lost my phone, I could still get things up and running. I use Dashlane. And a Google Authenticator app. Everybody has their own thing for 2FA, but Authy doesn't look bad. And Art's always got really good recommendations for software and things like that. But yeah, if you're brand new to 2FA or something, Authy's probably a good way to go. Dashlane's not bad, but it's maybe a little more advanced. It's password and 2FA. But Authy seems to be a little bit easier to use. Adrian says, Julian, unfortunately, as William said, you'll need to drive 120 miles for the fund. I'd like to help you avoid this in the future. You can install share screen software on both your computer and phone. So in the future, if this happens, you could use a special code to log into your phone from a laptop, be able to press buttons and handle even two-step authentication. That's slick. That right there, that suggestion from Adrian will save everybody's ass. That's awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing that. The one you use mostly is AnyDesk, and you've tried TeamViewer. I didn't know TeamViewer enabled from phone devices now. That's cool. See, I didn't know that. Didn't need to, but this is like a doomsday worst case scenario, right? That's perfect. Thanks for sharing that, Adrian. Appreciate you, man. And I'm sure Julian's going to like that a lot as well. Super cool. Art says, good thing Julian is stateside or he might give me a run for the Komodo Award. I agree. I agree. Looks like Julian's going after it, man. That's cool. I'm happy to see that. He's got plenty of time to make that thing happen, even with 120 mile, 240 mile round trip setback. That's still there's still plenty of time for him to qualify for the best new performance for sure. If he is stateside, I think he's stateside. I think he said he was. So, yeah. And thanks again, Adrian, for sharing that. And thanks to Art for sharing Authy again. And for now, if you'll clarify for me, please, on the health insurance prospect needing a 90-second buffer. If you could clarify what you mean by that, I can help you address that. I'm not sure exactly what it is you mean when you say that, but I'm here to help. And then I think we'll bounce out of here because I don't think anybody else has anything, right? Is everybody else good to go? If you're good to go, type in the comments, let me know you're good to go. So that way I'm not thinking somebody's just needing some help and they're not getting it. I know it's Christmas and all, but we got to do what we got to do here. And then we can get back to the families, right? We can get back to the celebration of Christmas, doing whatever we're doing. For me, I'm going to go back to work, take a break, go back to work. But that's my choice. That's what I want to do. But I'm waiting on for now. If everybody else is good to go, type good to go in the comments. Yeah, Art, I don't want to speculate though, right? Sounds like an affiliate offer you're saying, or similar with the duration. It's called a duration, 100%. And I just don't want to, I don't want to speculate, because if I start speculating, then obviously assumptions are made, and assumptions are never good. Um, Everybody's good to go. Okay, well, good, except for Fanal. If he's still here, happy to help as always. But he's going to have to clarify, and in order to get a good response. So I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes, see if he'll chime in with an updated response there, while everybody else tells me they're good to go, which is good. Happy to see that. Everybody working hard, putting in at least an hour or two today, and then spending the rest of the day with the family. Please do that. Your business will love you for that, I promise. Everybody's good to go. Happy to see it. I don't know what made me think just to ask that. Helps me know, like, everybody that is here is good to go, like, and they're just hanging out. That way I don't waste as much time, or there's less potential to waste time. Art says, I noticed comments on the various streams outside of this one. Are you getting those? Yeah, I'm getting some from Adrian Kempton Coomber from London. John Hackwood is also, it looks like they're maybe on the page, the Facebook page. I think they're tuning in from the page. I could be wrong. And there's my best friend since middle school. Merry Christmas. Always good to see him. But yeah, I am seeing comments from different streams, but I don't know if I'm seeing all of them. I wouldn't know that, or I wouldn't know till later, I guess, till after I'm off the stream. But if you're seeing something I'm not, and you're concerned about something, feel free to let me know, and I'll take a look. But I am getting some comments outside of just the regular group. Not just hanging out, learning also from your answers to situations, which I agree, John. What I mean by that is, if no one has questions, or if no one's got anything that they need help with, and I don't want to spend more time with you guys keeping you from. Sorry, no, there's another friend on Facebook. Merry Christmas. There's I'm not saying that it's a waste of time. What I'm saying is, I don't want to waste your time, because any minute that I can give you back to actually go and apply to the business, right? We've covered a lot of stuff over the last, almost 4 weeks now, through good times and bad, through inconvenient times and completely convenient times. We've been there, done that. We've gone there and back. And so I just want to make sure that there's not a ton of time wasted, especially on a day like today, where you only want to spend an hour or two in the business and the rest with the family. You don't need to be spending 4 or 5 hours. I guess you can, depends on how much time you spend with the family already, or normally, but 1 to 2 hours, spend the rest elsewhere, right? Enjoy your holiday, because today is the holiday, right? Tomorrow is not. Tomorrow is Boxing Day. Well, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, it's the holiday, but for most of us, it's Boxing Day. It's not. And what do you see? What we talk about tomorrow, by the way, that's going to be an interesting topic. A lot of people will be able to relate to that as well. So, anyway, grateful to be able to have shared those things with you. I'm not seeing for now say anything here to clarify. So I guess I can speculate and answer the question, but it's not going to be 100% guaranteed because I just don't know if it's I just don't know if it's going to be what he's asking. Which, if you're asking for now about a 90-second duration, you have a health insurance prospect and you need a 90-second duration. How can you address that? Inside of Ring Ads, there's a way to set duration on the right-hand side of creating a campaign. So when you go to create a campaign, in that screen, you'll see a duration setting, and you can set that to 90 seconds. Okay, that's how you would address the duration if that's what you're asking. But buffer is not what we call it. We call it a duration, and a buffer would be more, as a more accurate definition, would be something that goes in between, whereas a duration is the actual duration of the call before it bills, before it charges. So a buffer would be like something that goes in between, and that's why I don't understand the question. So I'm hoping that that's the answer that you're looking for. But please know that we don't call it a buffer; we call it a duration. Hate to be a stickler on language, but language is super important with what we do because everything we do is on the phone. It involves language. It also the terminology for certain things that we use, like call duration, has always been called call duration, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So please change your language there from buffer if that's what you meant to call duration, and if it's not what you meant, please clarify, and I'll check back later and see if I can give you a more accurate answer there. And looks like we got a question from Art. What would you put on the voicemail for 800 link if you're unable to answer? I would put, depending on what vertical I'm after, for that particular account. If you have multiple accounts, obviously this would be different, but for each one. But you would put the vertical DBA, right? So live tone calls direct, that kind of thing. Pest control calls direct, whatever your DBA is. Thanks for calling, and you've caught me either out of the office or on another line. Please leave your voice message, right? And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I mean, that's it. Please leave me a message, name and number. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, right? Pretty straightforward, just like they would hear if they called somebody else's voicemail and they were out in the field or out of the office, right? You don't want to give them too much detail. You don't want to sales pitch or anything like that. You don't need any of that. So anyway, glad everybody's good to go. Happy to help. Merry Christmas. Make every day Christmas, by the way, friendly reminder. And I promise you'll enjoy life a hell of a lot more. 100%. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on Boxing Day / Kwanzaa at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. Merry Christmas, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye for now.
Cool. You fall. On my shit with a new advantage, I leave it up to you to settle the damage. Diamond, yeah, I know it's foreign to him. I came from the guts of rural Alabama. Steph Curry wrist, watch what they handle. Simple motives, gotta lead by example. Not too many make it out when they doubt. Never been about bailing off of my route. Rain gang, got the city HD. Hate to see my brother die every week. Numb to your vision. My life got me too fucked up. Disrespect to make a nigga go dumb. Pillow talking while you nursing that bitch and turn you to a scrub. I let prices from the plug. Bay Shore, Ocean View, I win Adidas with the boots. Niggas out here slinging arbitrage, so the money really no excuse. Welcome to the realm. Drugs creep.